we're live.
JP, here we are again, together.
So unlike our other episodes where we've done these bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, first thing in the morning where we're fresh and our spirits haven't been crushed, we're doing this at 4 o'clock on the eve of a 3-day weekend that we're going to work on Monday.
I take full responsibility. It was my
really
fault.
Matter. It is your fault. But today was a good day.
It was productive.
Yep, we got through some operational things on one of our existing properties, our Air Haven property, and
Cash Mahal,
we got an off-market deal from a broker that we're working on.
Which looks fantastic, by the way. Excited about that one.
176 units, 85 build. Rents are a couple $100 under market. And while technically it is on the low side of our minimum requirements, it's still a good deal. And it gets us some experience with some of the equity groups that we're trying to court. So, so we'll spend a good morning working on that. But I think we were continuing our saga, our Shaker saga, which still goes on. And I think where we left off was how we blew up our partnerships with our money raisers.
Yeah, you need partners in real estate, but you gotta be careful with them.
So, I'll start. So I think as we've mentioned, we brought on as much help as we could, especially in the beginning where we had some heavy hitters that were on paper going to help us take care of the whole race. And then once we got the owner contract, it was like the moment the ink dried, hey, sorry, can't help. Great. So we had to scramble, and the people that we were able to start working with, it was like, we'll make it work, figure out how we can make it work. And every little bit helps. And so at this point we were dealing with how many different people or little groups? I think it was probably about 5 or 6.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
we
probably
had 5
about
or
5
6
groups, and then in each one of those groups, there's probably 4, 5, 6 different people in each there.
Right.
Each of the groups.
So imagine you've got a hub and spoke, and at the end of each spoke, you got little hub and spoke beyond that, and that's kind of what we're dealing with. So we, part of what we needed to do was educate our partners on the deal specifics. Matt and I were very close to the deal. We knew all the details. So sharing that information with them, getting up to speed with how the thing works. And then, of course, as you remember from earlier conversations, we had to change our waterfall structure. And, once they kind of got up to speed with one set of models, it was like, all right, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to change a little bit. So the returns will be a little different. And then we got them up to speed on that one, and then it changed again. And so I think we caused a little burnout on that front. We caused some of their investors to back out because of timing, how long things were taking, maybe the minimum amount changed. And then, as we mentioned, somewhere along the way, our willingness to take on non-accredited investors changed to being only accredited. And I don't think we touched upon this.
No, we didn't. No, that's actually a great thing to talk about.
The reason why we didn't accept non-accredited people that weren't making $200,000 or $300,000 a year is the legal burden on us. All of the filing requirements is enormous. You are crushed with paperwork, and we're a small, agile team. We don't need the lead vests.
So with that too, and most of that would have been handled by the attorneys, but basically if you have an investor in New York, for instance, New York has something called, I think they called it Blue Sky, I think is what it was called.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, so there's these documents that need to be filed specific for New York, and then Florida has different ones. And basically each state has a different type of filing and different forms that need to be able to be filed if you're accepting non-accredited investors from that state. So if you're dealing with 50 different states, you have 50 different filings. That's going to be a hell of a filing where you have a lot of paperwork to get filed. And quite honestly, we just didn't have the time to be able to go through and file 4 or 5 different states. And that was really the point where we were at, was we had 4 or 5 different states with these hubs of investors that wanted to invest in the deal. So that was kind of a learning experience. We hadn't known that before we went into this. We figured, okay, we'll form, or we'll file as B or a C. One of them is accredited. The other one, I think it's B. Is it B is accredited and C is non-accredited. So C, you can basically friends and family and bring in anyone who is what's up?
Has a pulse.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas B, you need to be accredited. You need to be $200,000, $300,000.
Substantial relationship.
Yeah, exactly. But you're allowed to advertise publicly if you file B as well, which is nice. But again, by the time we found this out, it was a little bit too late to do any type of advertising anyway.
Yep. So we started slowly. If you imagine a rope kind of starting to pull and fray a little bit. So, there's that going on. We have some other partners that were going to help raise some money. They were wanting to see some of our operating agreements that we were working on, but we couldn't complete those because we didn't finalize the waterfall. We couldn't finalize the waterfall until we knew if we were going to get a big equity group to write a check and tell us what terms they wanted. So it was all of these dependencies really straining the relationship there. And then, we had one of our raisers, not going to mention any names. He had brought in some of his friends that were going to help us, and his friends were very successful professionals. They had really good connections. They really love real estate. They love the deal, and they were going to help also bring in some money for us. And then, I got a call one day, and the call was like, "Hey, have you talked to these other people in the group?" Like, "No, what's going on?" "Oh, they're not going to help out anymore. They're out of the deal." "What do you mean? I just talked to them last week." "Oh, no, they're out. They're unsure of what's going on." It was very confusing because I had literally just talked to about 3 of these people 2 days prior. We were trying to constantly update everybody where they were at, just so they kind of felt like they were being communicated with and they weren't out in the dark. And sure enough, I reached out to some of them, and it's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I got cold feet. I can't do it anymore." No, I got cold feet. I was committed, but I'm not committed anymore, I think was sort of the message that I got, which really made me question if people understand the definition of the word commitment. But that trickle effect, slowly happened. We had one of our co-signers on the loan back out. We had one of our guys that was going to bring in, I don't know, $600,000-$700,000 of investors back out. Plus he was going to invest a bunch of money into the deal. We had the main one that introduced us to a number of people. He backed out. His professional friend was having cold feet and backed out. And at almost in the matter of a day, right? Day or two, all of the soft commitments we had, all the money that we had raised.
Yeah. Just gone.
Disappeared. Now, mind you, at this point in time, we've already exercised $100,000 worth of extensions. We spent $100,000 on the bank loan. Never mind the hard money for the deal. And how much? I think we had 20 days left to close, or 25 days left to close?
Yeah, it was close. It was getting down to the end. Yeah.
So I think the lesson that we learned from that one is less cooks in the kitchen, better.
Yeah. We want to go after the big stones first, and then fill in the sand around.
I don't know. I thought we had tried to build a really good economic model for our partners to participate in the deal, right? The way we broke out our equity, the way we wanted to share in the deal with our people. It was almost like, I felt like people didn't feel like they were actually participating in the deal. Like, it wasn't their deal too. And I don't know what we could have done to change that mindset, right? Because I remember this one person in the beginning when he said, "Hey, I can't help with the deal, with your deal." I'm like, what do you mean my deal? You're signing on the loan. You're getting equity for that. You're helping to raise money. You're getting equity for, you're doing all of these things that involve you and give you financial interest in the deal. Like, it's just, you're part of the deal as ours. And I don't know how we could have fixed that or changed that or whatever.
I think there's a mindset, I guess, that people don't necessarily, and we never really called this out. We didn't realize that until afterwards, but we found the deal, we put this all together, we negotiated the deal and kind of then brought everybody in. So from their perspective, it's not, our deal, it's their deal. But, again, like you mentioned, they're coming in at a position where, you basically are a partner at that point.
Right.
You're not
Right.
just on the sidelines. So
That's right. All right. So let's end this on a good note. Let's talk about our happenstance, finding the right guy.
Finding the right guy.
So I'll give how we found the guy, and then you go into how we met him. So I was at a barbecue here in Georgia. This is probably about 2 months ago or so. A neighbor friend of mine who is a money raiser. He's like a wealth manager out of Chicago, but he lives here in Georgia. And he came to me. He's like, "Hey, I got a LinkedIn invite from this guy, Michael. He sounds like, his business, his company would be like good for you guys. What do you want me to do? Want me to make an introduction?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "What do you want me to say?" My neighbor, me, has some real estate deals that, you should talk to about, right? So Monday, that was a Friday. So that Monday morning, we get the email that comes out. We reach me and, I loop you on, Matt, and I say, "Yeah, thank you for the introduction. We've got a deal we're working on. Would love to share it with you." And he replied back very quickly. "Sounds great." He included his admin, and the call was scheduled for, I think, Wednesday. So we get on the call on Wednesday, and the guy, Michael, I think he started off with like, "How's it going?" And I was pretty upbeat that morning. I'm fairly upbeat every morning. And I was like, "Things are really good." Woke up. What did I say? Usually woke up, my legs are still working. I'm still happily married. Kids are in good shape. Like, we don't have it that bad. And he's like, "Oh, I like that saying." I'm paraphrasing, of course. And he's like, I can tell I'm going to get along with you guys because you have similar mindsets of things.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes on to tell us his background. It's a very fascinating background. The guy used to be a basketball coach for many years, and he kind of stumbled into real estate and really has done very, very well with that. And he told us, he's like, after he gave us his whole pitch, he's like, "Guys, I thought this was a call. I thought you were investors.
Yeah.
And you were going, we're trying to woo you to invest with us in deals." They're an equity group. They work with a lot of equity partners, and then they partner with people like us. He calls us developers that have deals, and he helps marry them together or broker an introduction. That's how their group works. And I'm like, "No, we've got a deal." So we share with him the deal, and Matt, take it from there because I'm talking a lot.
Yeah. So lo and behold, small world, he actually lives about 10 minutes away from the deal that we've been talking about. So obviously knows the area very, very well. He's had restaurants, just down the road from these properties. He has known of the properties and been in the properties growing up. He grew up in the area, so he's had friends over the years that have lived in some of these properties. So again, very, very small world. But we ended up meeting a few days later at the properties. Walked through. He's like, "Look, you guys are great." Took a couple more days, where they went through and looked at everything and said basically like, "Look, we love you guys. We like working with you guys. We want to, be able to do more. Let's see what we can do here." Timelines are incredibly tight by this point. I think we only had, maybe a month or so left, something like that. So he, was very adamant from the very beginning that, "Look, this is going to be tough to get this done." But he's introduced us to quite a few different groups. Mm-hmm. And we actually just had a phone call conversation last night with him, which was sort of very, very revealing of the type of character that he has, I think. He heard some sort of inside information from people that were involved in this deal, and just wanted to make sure that it was relayed to us and we were, sort of clued into what he was being told. So
in other words, he's got his eye out for our backs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is we appreciate and we value if you're listening, Michael. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so it's been great. It's been great. And he's got a great, great team, great, great people. They're very, very responsive. It's not like some other groups where, you email them or you call them and they're gone for a couple of days. I mean, they're very, very responsive. So, and it's actually really interesting, if you're ever in around a person who is a true connector, they've always got, 100 things going on. And I can tell you every time that I've been with him, his phone is right at his side. It's ringing. He's texting back and forth with people as he's having a conversation with you. He's got like 10 different things going on all at the same time. And you can just tell like that's what he loves doing. He loves connecting with people. He loves figuring out, putting people together, fitting all the puzzle pieces together. So really excited about what that is going to produce in the future.
Yeah. And it took us a while to get to someone like him and his group. And we are very, very excited and thankful that we had this happenstance chance or meeting with him and his team.
So all of that being said, all of the negativity that, Shaker has brought and all the learning curves that Shaker has brought, this is one positive. Yeah. We probably wouldn't have met him had we not had Shaker. So.
Exactly. And I think that's the mindset right now that, while the fat lady has not sung, it's not over yet. At this point in time, I think I'm, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm settling with myself. It's not really the right word, but it gets the point across that if nothing else, going through this deal and this experience over the last, 4 months or so. And yes, making this, spending the money that we spent, it bought us the opportunities to meet with a number of different groups that we hadn't known before, give us the confidence that we have now, give us the confidence that when we speak to new groups, it's like old hat a little bit, right, Matt?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is the point where, a lot of people, I think, you get to this point. Well, exactly. You give up, like, oh, it doesn't work. I can't do it. It's not going to work for me. But but there obviously it works because there's more people made more millions in real estate than any other type of business. So it obviously works. You just have to keep slugging through all of this shit, unfortunately. But yeah, just keep plugging through it and keep going and it all adds up. And it's a big snowball that keeps growing. So
we're putting our reps in. Our muscles are so big by now. The camera doesn't even get the.
Which, speaking of, I've been slacking on my workout routines. I've got to get back into the routines.
Make the time, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Not like you're trying to operate a real estate business and a technology business at the same time.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Well, cool. I feel better ending on a high note. And this has been good. Again, we really appreciate you. That's right. We're talking to you, Mr. Listener. You, Mrs. Listener, you person that doesn't identify with a gender listener. So like, subscribe, share, comment. We have one fan.
Yeah, we need more fans. Let's get
pull up the email.
Get some fans.
That YouTube.
Get some more fans in there.
We have that one guy who's always replying back.
Yep. Yeah, he's in real estate too. So
we're talking to you. Oh my! Get his name. I think he commented on.
Yeah, he's commented on a couple of them.
Is it number 2? Let me look it up. Oh, it's not showing me comments. Gun.
Yeah,
you texted me. Hold on. I'll push pause.
I did.
All right, we got it. It's Zach, Jin, or Gin. We love you. You are one hard worker. That's what he commented a week ago on one of our things. So you're our first fanboy. All right. So I think that's it. Everyone, again, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. We'll keep making more of these recordings. We've got some more to go on our saga for Shaker, and each day we're actually creating content that we can talk about for other episodes.
Absolutely.
All right.
We will be in touch.
Bye.
Bye.